Hello there, I'm Black White News and I wanted to share my views about the Donald Trump and Sadiq Khan saga because it seems to be getting in our faces quite a lot. So, I'm going to read out my views and you can tell me what you think. Have you ever noticed how some arguments aren't about words that are said, but where those words land? I want to talk about something happening across the ocean, but somehow it's happening right here too. Donald Trump criticising Sadiq Khan, a big American figure firing shots at a London mayor. Two men who will probably never share a curry on Brick Lane. But somehow, the way they clash tells us a lot about power, culture, and class, and the way we hear each other, because on the surface, Trump's words can sound simple, almost casual, a little jab here, a comment there, nothing serious, right? Just politics, just opinions. But here's the thing about Donald Trump. He doesn't speak accidentally. He chooses his words the way a DJ chooses bass lines. Not too complicated, but carefully designed to shake the room. Sometimes the whole building. His language is plain, direct, even clumsy sometimes. But the impact, it hits people in their chest, not because of vocabulary, but because of strategy. He speaks in a rhythm tuned to people who feel ignored, overlooked, dismissed. People who felt talked down to by polished voices in suits. People who want straight talk, even if that straight talk is explosive. Now, enter Sadiq Khan, a son of an immigrant, South London, working class roots, a man who knows what it means to be underestimated, a man who has spent a career being second-guessed, mispronounced, stereotyped, and shoved back into boxes he never asked to fit. Two men from completely different planets, but both shaped by the fire of public scrutiny. So why does Trump's criticism feel like more than a comment? Why does it trigger Khan, even when the words sound simple? Because words don't land the same depending on who throws them. When Trump speaks, he isn't just giving an opinion. He's activating a whole crowd. The people who follow him, the people who amplify him, the people who trust him more than they trust the government or the media. He knows this. And when he chooses to mention Sadiq Khan by name, he's not speaking to a single man. He's speaking to millions. He's setting a tone. He's building a narrative. He's marking someone as a symbol. And here's where culture kicks in. Sadiq Khan hears more than the words. He hears the subtext, the years of being the different one, the outsider, the Muslim, the Londoner with the wrong accent. He hears the weight of criticism that, whether people admit it or not, is sometimes wrapped in something deeper than policy disputes. And let's be honest, working class people get this. We all know what it feels like when somebody talks to us in a way that sounds harmless, but you can feel the sting. Words which are condescending, patronising. It's not what they said, it's what they meant, and what they were signalling to everyone watching. Trump is brilliant at that. He's a tactician, a strategist. He fires shots that sound like banter, but they explode like grenades in the political world. He speaks in sound bites that get replayed again and again, and each time they land differently depending on who hears them. To Trump supporters, he's saying, I'm calling out the people you don't trust. To his critics, he's saying, I'm reminding you I can make the ground shake any time I want. To Sadiq Khan, he's saying, I can name you, define you, and frame you on a world stage. And that's where the resentment builds, because different cultures, different communities, different classes hear different things. Some hear strength, some hear bullying, some hear honesty, some hear intimidation. And the real discomfort comes from the place where these worlds collide. Like two radio frequencies overlapping, each fighting for clarity. So what do we do with this? How do we understand the clash without tearing each other apart? We step back. We breathe. We look deeper than the headlines. We ask, what's really being communicated here, and why does it matter? Who benefits from conflict? Because sometimes the loudest fights in politics aren't really about the two people involved. They're about how the rest of us react, what side we pick, whose story we believe. Trump knows how to move crowds. Khan knows what it feels like to be targeted. And both men, whether you like them or not, are shaped by the worlds that built them. This isn't America talking to London. It's power talking to identity, privilege talking to representation, old narratives meeting new realities. And the earthquake we feel, it's the sound of cultures rubbing against each other, trying to figure out who gets to define the story. Trump's power comes from emotional escalation. Khan's power comes from symbolic legitimacy. Trump wins when the fight stays loud. Khan wins when the fight becomes boring. The ultimate reversal is this. Trump wants Khan, this is just my opinion, Trump wants Khan to look rattled. Khan should look unmoved, not passive, not submissive, just unshakable. So as you can see, these two dynamics is quite interesting because sometimes depending on where you come from or where you're born, and especially being an immigrant or a child of an immigrant, you still feel the pang, you still feel the goading, you still feel as though people are treating you as you are less than, as though you don't deserve where you've reached, as though you haven't accomplished whatever it is you've accomplished fairly. And there are people out there who know how to goad someone. It's a bit like when you're dealing with the police, and they know how to goad somebody so that they react, and then they can say, hey, you know, and it's like other people who have that technique that they know how to goad, even in relationships. You know, you have spouses who know what can tick somebody else. They know the triggers. And it's very easy to say, ignore it, avoid it, don't take any notice. It's very easy to say you need to be emotionally distant. You need to become cold. You need not to react. But when you know that those buttons within you are there, and you're not quite sure of the triggers, but when they are triggered, you feel it. It's very difficult to stop it. It's very difficult to stop that roller coaster. So I'm not quite sure what Khan can do here. I hope he can just come down and realise what's going on. I hope he can not rise to the bait, because that is in essence what it is. But it's easier said than done. Like I said, we all have our triggers, we all have our soft spots, we all have our weaknesses. And if Donald Trump knows how to press buttons, he will press them. And I think his strategy is really, I don't want to say clever, but it is clever. I think people underestimate Donald Trump. I really think they underestimate him. He's quite brilliant. That's not to say I admire him or applaud him, but he is quite a brilliant man. And like I said, he's a strategist. And he's good at what he does. And that's all I've got to say for now. Take from it what you will, and I appreciate your comments. Bye-bye.